What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 Honda Civic Hatch Sport Touring Hybrid. Huge thank you to Sam Rubin over here at Safford Honda of Arlington, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Civic or any Honda product, then I'll be sure to have Sam's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. It is a beautiful day outside here today. It's one of those days I like to call an in-betweener because I want to take my sweatshirt off, but I also want to leave it on because it's a bit chilly. But anyways, just like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2025 Honda Civic Hatch Sport Touring Hybrid, and this particular one's been painted in the optional $455 Sand Dune Pearl. I wanted to preface this video by saying for 2025, Honda subtly refreshed the Civic inside and out with updated front and rear ends. They also added a hybrid powertrain. They also added some new interior technology, new colors, and there's no more manual with the hatch other than the Type R. But this particular one being the Sport Touring Hybrid, as standard, you get LED headlights with automatic high beams as well as LED daytime running lights, LED turn signals, and black headlight bezels. Taking a few steps to the left, here's a front-on shot of the 2025 Civic, with this being the top dog trim level. You get the gloss black front grille with the Honda logo located at the center. One thing I wanted to point out is just beneath your headlights, I did a video with a SI, and the trim beneath the headlights in that were gloss black. But anyways, here they are body color. And when you come down just a little bit, I always mention this with every 2025 Civic I do a video with, this front end is very reminiscent, at least to me, of the BMW M340i. I feel like Honda took some inspiration from the M340's front bumper because it looks very sporty, and again, just very reminiscent of that. If you guys see the M340 bumper down here as well, let me know in the comments down below. But speaking of the front bumper, you get 4 integrated parking sensors there. Going to our lower grille here, the upper grille is gloss black, the lower grille is satin black, the outer grills are also satin black, and then you also get that body color front chin all the way down there at the bottom of the front bumper. Just to summarize the refresh for 2025, again, I think it's subtle, I think it looks fantastic. I think they did just enough to make it look different. However, it still looks fantastic, very sporty, and again, I think it takes some BMW inspiration here at the front. You guys can let me know your opinions on it in the comments down below. Coming on down the side, these are the standard wheels you get with this, and they are 18-inch matte shark gray with machine accent wheels, and they're wrapped in 235/40 Goodyear Assurance Finesse all-season tires. I'll give you a quick view of the tread pattern on these tires here real quick, and I'll also throw the price of one tire on screen now. If you're not a fan of the standard wheels, there is one optional set of wheels, but that is a $1,600 option. So if you feel like spending the extra money, yes, the wheel, in my opinion, looks much better than the standard ones, but again, it is a pricey option. But I wanted to say, standard, you do get rain sensing wipers, which is definitely very nice. One thing I did want to mention is that there are 2 features that at first I was like, you don't really need that, but then once you start using them, it becomes like second nature, and you're like, you never want to drive a vehicle without them again. The first feature is like automatic high beams, very nice. You don't have to turn them on and off. I know it's very easy to do, first world problems, but when you have automatic high beams, you don't want to go back to a car without them. Same with the rain sensing wipers. They are just such a nice convenience feature. This one being a sport model, you get the gloss black mirror caps with integrated turn signals, and as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, manual folding, and you will find your blind spot monitoring on the upper left hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand side of your passenger side mirror. I'm going to give you a side profile shot here of the hatch. It looks similar here with the hatch compared to the sedan. I did a video with the sedan not too long ago, as I just mentioned, and they look very similar from the side profile. I would say the sedan kind of is a little bit lower of a roof design compared to the hatch, but there is more room here with the hatch, as you'll see in a minute. But black window trim, you get body color door handles with keyless access. Just keep in mind, keyless access only on the front 2 door handles. The rear 2 door handles do not get the keyless access function, and then you get that satin black side skirt there on both sides. 87 octane will do you just fine here with the hybrid, and you also do get a capless filler neck behind that door. Body color antenna, you also have a rear wiper back here with the rear wiper washer, and you do get a rear window defroster. Here's a rear 3/4 shot of this thing. LED taillights obviously are going to come standard with the top trim. You get chrome badging back here, and then this is a manual lift gate. You press on this and pull up. I know, so difficult to do in 2025, but you do get the rear cargo shades both on the hatch itself and then here inside of the trunk. I believe these are your floor mats, maybe? You get your carpeted floor mats down underneath here, and then underneath all of that stuff, if you lift up on that piece there, you don't get a spare tire, but you do get a tire inflator kit. And then there is a decent amount of storage space here in the trunk area. I'll try to give you a shot of what that looks like. And if you need more space than what the trunk can provide, you can fold the second row seats down for some additional storage space. Closing this back up, we're going to finish things off here at the rear end. You can see you get those 2 reflectors, you get those 4 integrated parking sensors, and then you get that satin black rear valance down there. And that's kind of about it for the exterior of the Civic. I think this is the first 2025 hatch I've done a video with. The other ones have been sedans. If I had to pick between the hatch or the sedan, I don't know, I kind of like the way that the sedan looks better. I think it kind of has cleaner lines. However, this still looks like basically a sedan at the front, but it's more at the rear. I kind of like the sedan better, but this definitely does provide some more storage space. So if you're looking for storage space and you're going to be using this as a daily driver, maybe you have a kid or two, yeah, I would say the hatch is probably the way to go. But anyways, with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals the 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that works with 2 electric motors. One of the electric motors is to get the vehicle going from a stop. The other one is to start up the gasoline engine. Total output is 200 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to an eCVT for a 0 to 60 in 6.2 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 50 miles per gallon in the city, 45 miles per gallon on the highway for 48 miles per gallon combined with front wheel drive only. So the CRV, you can get the same hybrid engine with all-wheel drive, but with the Civic, you can only get it with front wheel drive. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Those 3 things look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm. If you guys don't want to sit through a full 30-minute review, I also do 1-minute reviews of each vehicle that I do videos with, so you guys can check that out, get a summary. If you guys want to see more of that car, you guys can watch that full review. That is in my short section. Also, I do some car style content of my own vehicles on my Instagram and TikTok at 703speed. So if you guys are car enthusiasts or you just like cars in general, I got some American V8s and a Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. So if you guys want to check that stuff out, be sure to subscribe and then follow me on Instagram and TikTok at 703speed on all socials. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, as mentioned earlier, keyless access comes standard, so all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, it unlocks. If you wanted to lock it, all you have to do is run your finger across those 3 lines there and it locks right back up. This is what the key fob looks like, satin black with some gloss black accenting. And going over the functions on it, starting from the top, you have your lock function, your unlock function, your remote start function, that is to pop open the hatch. Then you have your panic function there at the bottom. If you wanted to remote start this, all you have to do is lock it, press and hold this right here, and she will fire right up. Remember, this is a hybrid, so it may or may not make some noise. Engine fired up. Now let's see what the interior of this particular Civic has to offer. So with the sand dune pearl, the only interior you can get is the black leather upholstery, but dependent on what exterior color you can get, you can also get a gray. So there's either the option of the black or the gray. Again, it's all dependent on the exterior paint color. We'll get more into that in a second. I'm gonna start here on the door panel. Vinyl wrapping here at the top. You have your door handle, then you have your power side, your mirror controls, your unlock and your lock functions. That is going to restrict your passenger window privileges. Express up and down front windows. You do not get express up or down windows in the back. A little bit of storage space, a cup holder, and this thing does come standard with the 12-speaker Bose sound system. That is one of the things that you do get when upgrading from the middle trim to the Sport Touring Hybrid. Also, standard, you get an 8-way power driver seat as well as a 4-way power front passenger seat. Heated front seats come standard. We're going to step into the interior of this thing. First thing I wanted to highlight, you can see down there you get the sport pedals. Again, we did remote start this, but you still have to push your foot on the brake and push to start to get access to the dash and the infotainment system. And those are the little dings that you get when you fire it up. And now I'm going to walk you throughout the entire interior. So up top here, you get that fancy Bose tweeter. Come down, you have your HVAC vent. This is to brighten and or dim the gauge cluster, as well as the backlit buttons. You have your traction control system on or off there. You get a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. You can bring it towards you, you can push it away from you, and it moves up and down. I'm going to lock it right back into position. Now let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like here on the Civic. Not only is it the turn signal control stock, it is also the headlight control stock and high beam control stock as well. Zooming back out, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel, and just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. Take a listen. That is what the horn sounds like here on the Civic. And then now I'm going to walk you throughout the controls here on the steering wheel. So you have the downshift paddle here and the upshift paddle here. I'm not 100% sure if these are actual paddle shifters or if they're for like your hybrid braking mode. So I will get into that in the driving portion of the video. You can see the controls here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. This is to go backwards on a track, forwards on a track. Volume controls, that is to speak to the vehicle. If you are connected to Apple CarPlay, you press and hold on that. That will pop open Siri. And then you have this thing down here, and that is to control the left-hand side of your digital gauge cluster. This over here is to control the right-hand side of your digital gauge cluster. And this thing does come standard with Honda Sensing. Honda Sensing includes your adaptive cruise control, your collision mitigation braking system, your lane keep assist system, your road departure mitigation, and your traffic jam assistant. So here are for basically your adaptive cruise control settings / driver assistance features here. Get your wiper settings there, and then to basically, we're going to go throughout the digital gauge cluster. So as standard with this thing, you get a 10.2-inch digital gauge cluster. On the outsides of the gauge cluster, you have basically like your battery percentage, full and low. And on the right-hand side, you have your fuel gauge. At the center, you can see digital speedometer readout. You have your speedometer over there. That is your normal mode, your odometer. Again, all of this stuff is configurable there at the center. That is ready, letting us know we can go forward. Then you get your transmission status stuff, the ambient exterior temperature. To control that side of the screen, you can have you have this right here. So basically you have your phone stuff, FM, AM, USB, Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can customize that display. So let's say we go into excuse me, we go into phone or back, then it's just going to show us our audio stuff. But we can go into like AM or FM stuff. So you go into there, then it's going to show that stuff. All you got to do is swipe down, and then it's going to bring you back into your display menu. I'm going to leave it in Bluetooth because that's what it was on before. And then on the right hand side, again, you can see you have your different trip information. Scroll down one, you get your navigation stuff, drive safe, driver attention level. This is letting you know who's buckled and who's not. Maintenance stuff, driver safety stuff, no content. You can display then your like basically this is hybrid stuff, letting you know if the engine is powering the vehicle forward or if the batteries are powering it forward. Very easy to use screen. Basically you can control it with those two scroll knobs there. Coming over to here, this being the top trim, you get the Google based 9-inch infotainment system with built-in Google Maps and wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. On the outside of the screen, you have your physical shortcuts into home, back, volume control, and then forwards or backwards on a track. These are your controls throughout the screen. So you can see you have your Google Voice Assistant, you have your Google Maps, FM, Bluetooth audio, or excuse me, Apple CarPlay. This is going to pop open your display mode. So you get your display mode brightness here. You can also turn the display mode off if you wanted to. I'm going to turn it all the way back up. And then you can also add something down there as well. I'm going to go into our home screen. This is what the home page looks like. You can go into the Google Play Store, and basically you can download Spotify, you can download YouTube Music, you can download Waze, and then basically instead of having to connect your phone, you just go to the Waze app like right here, and it will pop open Waze. I think that is a very cool feature. I'm sure you probably have to pay for some sort of membership to have this thing have access to the internet. But anyways, that is besides the point. That's why CarPlay is so nice. You can see all the other things that you can read on screen now. Very easy to use screen. And then this thing also does come standard with a wireless charging pad, which is charging my iPhone 14 Pro Max, one of the bigger phones on the market. And up top here, it lets me know that the phone is charging with the battery volt. So I think that is definitely also pretty cool. 2 HVAC vents. You get your hazard button, your push button, start button. You get dual zone automatic climate control here. The mid-level trim gives you the dual zone automatic climate control. A couple touring specific features include the 12-speaker Bose sound system, the leather upholstery here on the seats. You get the Google built-in also with the Sport Touring Hybrid, as well as wireless Apple CarPlay. So just a few things if you are comparing trim levels. Heated outboard front seats. You get 3 levels of adjustability with those front seats. They're both on the outsides of this thing here. Down below, you get your 2 USB-C ports. You get a 12-volt power outlet. As I mentioned, wireless charging pad does come standard. You get your 2 cup holders here. You no longer get a manual option in anything but the Type R or the SI. So you can go into drive just like that. And then you have your different drive modes. I believe you have 4 different drive modes. So if we go into here, you have your individual mode. You can set that up as you would like throughout this screen here. You go down one, you get your sport mode, then you get your normal mode and your econ mode. I'm gonna leave it in normal mode for right now. Electronic parking brake. If you wanted to disengage that, you push your foot against the brake, push against that, and it will disengage. And then you have your auto brake hold right here. Basically, for the auto brake hold, you press that, the vehicle is going to hold itself in place by itself with the braking system. Push your foot on the accelerator and it will go forward again. It's nice for when you're stuck in traffic. Opening this up, no connectivity down in there. It is rather deep though. I would say it's probably about 7 inches deep. We'll break out the measuring device here. Yeah, about 7 inches deep, followed by about 10 inches from side by side, and then width-wise, you're probably looking at about 5. So that is what you're looking like for storage space down in there, and then you also get this divider that can either be here or there. You do not get a lockable lower glove box. Decent amount of storage space in the glove box over there. You get the 4 HVAC vents there on the dash. Get your auto dimming rear view mirror. Both of your lights up here at the front are LED. This is whether you want the lights to turn on or not when you open up the doors. You do get a power sunroof also with this thing. It slides and it also does tilt. If you wanted to tilt it, you just push up on that. I'll show you the size of the sunroof. Pull back, it's gonna slide it. While that's opening, you also get a spot you could set your sunglasses. Push forward on that, the sunroof will close. Opening this up, you get a vanity mirror with a vanity light, and then this does slide in and out for when the sun is in those awkward positions. That is also nice. You get a grab handle for the driver. You also get a grab handle over there for the passenger, and really that's kind of about it for what we got going on in these front seats. So seat being 5'9", more slim person of about 150 some pounds. These seats are very comfortable for me, and I still have room. I think even if I was 6'2", I'd still be comfortable here in the driver's seat. And now I'm gonna throw the entire window sticker on screen. Take a look at everything that you get with this thing. The only option it has is the paint color. You can take a look at the fuel economy, take a look at whatever. I suggest you take a look at the safety stuff. Basically, I'm just gonna highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular fully loaded Honda Civic Sport Touring Hybrid is spec'd is $34,755. Considering this is the fully loaded Civic model, I think that is a pretty decent price. Everything's so expensive nowadays, and to get a fully loaded vehicle for just under 35 grand, I think that's a win. I do want to show you what we got going on in the rear seats before moving into the driving portion of the video. As you can see, me being 5'9", sitting behind myself, I've got plenty of knee and leg room as well as headroom. And then you also get the center fold down armrest, as you can see on screen now. I want to show you that here in the rear, the windows nearly go all the way down. They don't quite go all the way down, but that's just a view. A little bit of storage space here on the door panel as well. You again can fold the second row seats down. Up top here, you get a grab handle. You also get a spot you could set your dry cleaning. On the passenger side, you only get the grab handle. You don't get the dry cleaning hook. And then also passenger side only, you get the seat back pocket. You don't get one behind the driver's seat. And then cup holder, center fold down armrest with 2 cup holders. Here's another visual of my headroom because you couldn't really see it, but you can see my knee room. And then you get your LED light there. So very good amount of leg room as you saw earlier. But really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in the interior of this thing. You know, we talked about the exterior, we talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior of this thing. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video. Take a listen. One thing that's so interesting about these hybrids, it doesn't matter what brand it is, when it's the hybrid only and you're backing up or you're just going at slow speeds, it sounds so angelic. It's like, did I just die and go to heaven? I mean, listen. I'm not sure if it's going to pick up on camera, but it's so funny to just listen to it. Even if you're not driving one and you just hear one drive by, it's definitely a very interesting sound, to say the least. It's kind of soothing almost in a way. I mean, it's not obnoxious, which is good, but this is just a really nice daily driver sedan that gets fantastic fuel economy. I actually was with my grandparents the other day, and they just got a Ford Escape hybrid, and that thing was getting like 40 some miles per gallon like everywhere that we went. And I was like, I thought that was awesome. I mean, it's like the best of both worlds to have both a gas engine so you can go far and you don't have to worry about charging up, and then also having some electric stuff to keep you getting really good fuel economy. I don't know, I just think that's awesome. Take a listen to acceleration. So as you guys can tell, when the car is just starting out, that's when the electric motor pops in, and that's what I was telling you guys. One of the electric motors is to get the car rolling. The second is to start up the engine. So it's just kind of an interesting system, but I mean, it clearly works. It gets 50 miles per gallon, and I'm sure that this thing is just ultra reliable as well. I had a friend whose dad had a Civic. I think it was like a 2007. They just got a new car, and it was a Civic hybrid. It lasted that long, so he used it from day to day. It was just his daily driver, and it worked out great for him for a long period of time. I mean, I got my own Honda with 250,000 miles on it. It's a Ridgeline, and I drove it here today. You know, I drove an hour in, and I'm gonna drive an hour home in traffic. So they're just really great vehicles. I mean, if you're gonna buy one and you're gonna hold it for a long period of time, I mean, you can't go wrong. If you're gonna lease one, you can't go wrong buying a Honda really in general. I mean, they're just so good. I mean, speaking of a Ridgeline, there's an 07 Ridgeline. She looks beat up, but I bet you it drives and rides fantastic. So I'm gonna pull out here and do a nice little acceleration. Not the quickest thing that you've ever driven. However, it seems to do good enough. Power-wise, it almost sounded like it was like an automatic by the way that it was shifting gears. It didn't sound like a normal CVT where they just like hang gears and it sounds terrible. This wasn't not too bad. It sounded like it was shifting gears. I love the digital gauge cluster. The Google-based infotainment system is very easy to use. It connects great to my phone. It connects basically right off the rip when you first get into it, so that is definitely very nice. It drives great. I mean, giving it a little bit of gas here, I mean, it's got some really good low-end torque. I mean, just to get around passing people, it's got just enough ASS down at low RPMs to where it can get you out of a sticky situation. You can get around somebody. Like if I'd like to pass this guy, I'm not going to, but this guy is going super slow. Granted, he probably has like 30,000 pounds of concrete in that thing. I mean, it is loaded because the rear tires are down. But I'm gonna do a little acceleration here. The transition between the gas engine and the electric motor, I mean, it's seamless. You can't even feel the gas-powered motor turn on. It just one continuous acceleration. You don't feel like a jolt or anything. It's just very smooth. Bose sound system in this thing sounds fantastic. I mean, off the line, guys, just giving it a little bit of gas, it really does really well in accelerations from stoplight to stoplight. When you get higher up into the speeds, like 60 miles an hour, it probably feels not as quick. But I mean, you're not buying for one of these things to go quick. If you were, you'd be buying a Type R, and you wouldn't be looking at this. This is more for fuel economy. This is more just for a very comfortable daily driver, and that's exactly what it is. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Those three things look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow, so I'd appreciate it if you guys would do those three things. If you guys are car enthusiasts and you like American V8 stuff or Volkswagen Carbon Gias, be sure to subscribe, and then also follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I do some behind the scenes stuff of the YouTube channel on there, and then I also do some videos of my own personal vehicles and pictures of my own personal vehicles on there as well. And then I also do some stuff with my reviews on my other social medias as well. Again, 703 speed across all social media platforms. Also, if you guys don't want to watch a full 30-minute review, I do 1-minute reviews here on YouTube as well. You can find it in my short section. You guys can watch a video of a vehicle you might be interested in, and if it does catch your interest, you can watch the full video linked on that video. But again, that, guys, is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.